Hi, first class, Mr. Dunk here, and today I'm going to be reading a story to you. I'm actually going to be finishing off a story that we started all the way back before Christmas, before winter break. And this story is it's the Christmas story from the perspective of the three wise men, Caspar, Balthasar, and Melchior, and their journey to Bethlehem, following the star, to meet someone special. And of course, that someone turned out to be the baby Jesus. Um, I know it's been a long time since we read the first parts of the story, but this is the last part, and I thought it fits in quite well with one or two things that will be hopefully happening in the next few weeks. I'll let you decide for yourself what I mean by that later on. So yeah, just a recap. Um, the three wise men uh, like to look at the stars, and then one night they found a particularly bright star in the sky that they felt was special, and they went and followed it, um, and it took them without a map, and it took them to Bethlehem, and there they found the baby Jesus and Mary and Joseph in the cave. In this version, the baby Jesus was born in a cave, and this is what happens afterwards. Okay, so I'll stop. Mary, Joseph, Jesus, and the wise men spent some time in the cave together. They shared each other's food, company, and stories. Mary told her story of the angel and of her visit to her cousin Elizabeth and her new baby. Joseph told the story of their journey to Bethlehem to sign Caesar's book, their difficulty in finding a place to stay, and how they had been so glad of the warmth and shelter of this cave. The wise men told the story of their interest in watching the night sky, and the strange light of the star which had led them all the way through the darkness to this very cave and the new baby. No matter how dark the night, there was always enough light for us to see the way, Caspar said. Then one morning the wise men said, "It is time for us to go back home now." They said goodbye to Mary and Joseph and the baby and headed off. At first they travelled in silence, each one thinking his own thoughts. Melchior thought how strange it was to be travelling in daylight, without the star. Balthasar thought how strange it was to know exactly where his journey would lead. Caspar wondered what sort of life lay ahead of the new baby. Then Balthasar had a different kind of thought. He said, "I had a strange dream last night. Herod was in it, and his soldiers too. They were searching for the new baby, but the strange thing was that we were afraid he would find the baby, so we hid him." "That is a strange dream," said Melchior. "Perhaps it is trying to tell us something." "But what?" asked Caspar. "This new baby will become a very different type of leader than Herod is," Balthasar said. "I do not think Herod would welcome his kind of leadership. He would not want any leader in Judea but himself." "I think we should not go back to Jerusalem. We, we will not tell Herod where the baby is. We will return home by a different route," said Melchior. And so they did. Some months later, just as darkness was falling, they came within sight of home. "It's just like it was when we set out, Caspar. At this time, we are out in the darkness looking in at the light instead of the other way round." "We have returned," said Melchior. "We are back at the beginning again." "You are right, and you are wrong, Melchior," said Balthasar. "It is true we are back at the beginning, but it is a new beginning. We walked a long way in the darkness. We found a new beginning in the birth of the new baby, Jesus. We have seen with our own eyes that God is with us. From here on, a new journey is just from here on, a new journey is just beginning." "What?" exclaimed Caspar, but we have just arrived back. Don't worry, Caspar. Balthasar is talking about a different kind of journey. We no longer need a star to guide us, Melchior explained. We have other things to guide us. We have the story and the memory of the journey. We have hope and new leadership. But most of all, he continued, we have God with us. The three wise men returned to their homes to begin their lives anew. And that's the end of the story. Just before I go, I have a few questions. Like I said on the sheet, you don't have to write an answer to them. They're more for you to think about. But if you would like to share your ideas and thoughts with me, you can send a video or a voice note or write a note for me. So the first one is, for you, I just want you to imagine that you are the wise men's children. You've been watching and waiting for your father's return home. And you finally see them coming. You run to go and meet them. What's the first thing you would say to them after such a long time away? How do you think? The second question is, how do you think the wise men would felt as they headed back home? Was there any reason for them to be both happy and sad that they were returning home? What do you think? And finally, do you think their returning home might be anything like when we return to school? Full of stories and happy to see our friends again? Do you think there's any similarities in the story and when we get back to school? Let me know if you like, or at least think about it. Okay, first class, I hope you enjoyed the story of the three wise men. I'll see you soon. Bye.